Hey, good morning, East Texas, and happy Monday. Well, we are tracking a very warm start to the beginning of the work week. In about 30 minutes or so, a few of our East Texas counties will make it under a heat advisory that officially goes into effect at 11 a.m. today for the counties that are highlighted on your screen. Nacogdoches, Angelina County are just a few counties, as well as St. Augustine and Sabine, to name a few. That does run all the way up toward the Arklatex area. Still, though, even if you are not under a heat advisory, it is going to be warm. Taking a look outside, we have beautiful puffy cumulus clouds outside. Temperatures are not too bad right now. We're currently in the 80s, but we will warm up pretty quickly. We'll make it all the way into the 90s sometime between 1 and 2 p.m. depending on where you live. But then we are looking at the low to mid 90s this afternoon. I think that we'll make it up to about 92 degrees. That is for Tyler and once again for Longview. A few areas could make it even warmer. We're looking at 93 in Nacogdoches and Lufkin this afternoon. Plenty of warmth out there. 94 if you're in Linden or Jefferson. Overall, plenty of heat. We do have a mix of sun and clouds through the morning, as well as an excessive amount of humidity. It's East Texas. We're used to it, though. Now, with all of the humidity combined with that high heat, that's why we're starting to see those heat advisories kind of pop up. You can see a little bit warmer off to the east. That's where temperatures are just a little bit higher, and that will make your feels like temperature be higher as well. It makes sense, right? 102 in Jefferson and in Linden, 101 in Marshall, 100 for your feels like in Carthage, same in Tyler and Longview, slightly cooler in Canton and Emory. There we're hanging on to the upper 90s, but still it is going to be a very warm afternoon ahead. Now with that heat advisory, that is where we have the potential to see feels like temperatures between 105 and 109. That's along the eastern border of our area. Just keep that in mind and make sure that you are taking care of yourself, because it is going to be warm, especially by our East Texas standards. We are still used to that sizzling Texas heat, but once we start to get into this repetitive cycle of seeing that back to back to back high heat, it starts to wear on your body a little bit. So just make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. And of course, make sure you hydrate. And I would recommend wearing light colored clothing to reflect some of the heat and the sunlight away from your body. That will keep you just slightly cooler out there. And of course, hydrate. That is going to be the biggest thing for you. According to the CDC, they recommend that you drink 1 cup of water, or 8 ounces, every 20 minutes when you are working outside. And don't forget to hydrate before and after working outside in the heat. It's important to prehydrate and to replenish the heat, the water that your body sweated out after being outside doing strenuous activity in that high heat. I'd recommend, or the CDC recommends, avoiding energy drinks and alcohol, as they can cause dehydration a little bit faster. So just make sure that you are staying safe, staying hydrated, and staying as cool as you can. Now tonight, there is some relief in the forecast. We'll drop down into the mid-70s, 76 in Tyler, 75 if you're in Longview. So a few degrees above the average for this time of year. Usually we're about 72, but it's still going to be much better than the 90s and the triple-digit feel-like temperatures that we'll see this afternoon. Still, though, above average. Lots of heat is coming through. Now, we'll have a few clouds passing through in the evening hours, but we do have to get through a little bit of a turbulent afternoon ahead. There's heat and there's also some showers. We are tracking mainly clear skies right now. A few puffy cumulus clouds are on the way, but what I'm watching is just these little spots of green that are coming up from the Gulf Coast. Those are sea breeze showers, and those are on the way to East Texas this afternoon. Sometime around 1, maybe 2 p.m., we'll start to see these pop up as they fly in from the Gulf Coast. Now, some of these could pack a bit of a punch. We're talking about some isolated heavy downpours and some gusty winds if you are caught in one of these little thunderstorms. Now, they will be dispersed across the area, so not all of us are going to see rain, but if you do get caught in one of these, just be prepared. You'll need to slow down on the roadways. You will need an umbrella if you're planning to be outside in one of these. And just remember to look out for lightning and thunder. If you hear thunder, you can get struck by lightning, so make sure that you are staying inside until that storm passes you by. And it really shouldn't last in your area all that long, because we are tracking just little pockets of rain, and it's going to move very quickly up to the north. Now, that will last until the early evening, maybe around 9, 10 p.m. at the very latest, and then we dry out in the evening hours. Now, a lot of us could see something that looks like this. This is a picture that was sent to us by one of our weather watchers. This is from Lupita Weissner. There are some clouds popping up over the horizon. You can see on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, a little bit of rain appears to be falling. We're kind of looking like right in this area. You can see the streaks kind of popping up there. Thank you so much for sending this in, Lupita. If you have any pictures from the storms that came through yesterday, or if you snap a picture this afternoon of the storms, or hey, if you have something that looks warm outside, send it our way. We'd love to see it. You can send it to our email, weather@cbs19.tv. And hey, we might feature it right here on Morning Y'all on one of our live streams or on the noon show. All right, now, where are these storms coming from? Where are these clouds coming from? They're all coming from the heat, believe it or not. All of that heat is going to act to form a very stable area, or I should say a very conducive area to see some thunderstorms forming. The pockets of these bright yellows and golds that you're seeing on your screen are very energetic areas. So that's lots of thunderstorm fuel. As these little storms move in, they're going to be able to sustain themselves a lot longer than they usually would because of all of that heat. And that's why we'll start to see these sea breeze showers, instead of dying out closer to the Gulf Coast, make it all the way to I-20 and I-30, potentially even to areas up north along the Red River. Now, the heat and the storm energy, that's all locked to, or tied to, I should say, this area of high pressure that's currently sitting off along the mid-Atlantic, where it's centered, where you see that high pressure centered on the screen. But you see this big red bubble? This is what's known as a heat dome. So it's a very wide, very large area of sinking air, and that's what's called a heat dome. We're seeing lots of heat alerts stretch across the United States. According to heat.gov, it's one of the websites that the government uses to track heat. Over 79 million Americans are under a heat alert right now. We'll continue to keep you updated, but look at all of that. The oranges are heat advisory that stretches all the way down here to East Texas. We're at the southernmost and the southwesternmost tip of that, but it goes all the way along the Mississippi into areas near the Gulf Coast. We are seeing a few more pop up on our screen right now near the Pennsylvania area. Some warnings, some watches out there. Overall, a very hot day for areas in the eastern portion of the United States. Now, here in East Texas, it is going to be hot, but it will get warmer through the end of the week. High pressure right now off to the east, but this is so big, it's going to do what's called retrogressing, which means it's moving backwards. Usually we see all of this go from the west to the east, but because this one is so big, it's going to go backwards. So it's going back toward East Texas. Eventually it's going to take up residence right here in the Piney Woods, which means that it is going to be very hot over the weekend. We're looking at 94, 95 once we get to Friday and Saturday. Now, this is not going to keep any rain out of our forecast until it gets here, which means we'll stay dry on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But we still are tracking a chance of showers while it's off to the east. That means tomorrow is kind of a copy and paste of what we'll see today. We'll stay dry in the morning. We'll start to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms begin to pick up in the afternoon. Once again, it's very much hit and miss. If you do get caught in one of these, not all of us will see rain, but if you do get caught in one of these, you will want your rain gear because it could be a rather heavy downpour. We'll dry out overnight, stay dry Wednesday morning. The Wednesday morning commute is looking good to go. When you're coming home from work, though, watch out once again for that little round of showers and thunderstorms coming up from the Gulf Coast. That could make things a little bit dicey when you're driving home. After that, though, high pressure builds in. I just showed you that. And then we are going to stay dry Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Just that little rain chance coming in today through Wednesday. Now, over the next 7 days, as rain chances begin to fizzle out, we will see temperatures climb. Right now, I have us at 94 Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There is a chance, though, that we could get a little bit warmer than that. We'll continue to fine-tune that forecast for you as we get closer to the end of the week. But still, we'll make sure that you are staying cool as much as you can. Honestly, today, as long as you're going before the thunderstorms, it's a great day to hit the pool. Temperatures are in the low 90s. We're into the mid 90s on Thursday, and I should say on Tuesday and on Wednesday, even warmer as we round out the work week. Thanks so much for joining us on the CBS 19 Plus live stream. We appreciate you being here and starting your work week with us. Remember, stay cool as much as you can and stay hydrated. We'll see you next time.